Hello, everyone. My name is McKenna Myers, and today I'm here to introduce to you my instructional design plan, the title of which is An Introduction to the Purpose and Process of Genrefying a Fiction Collection for School Library Volunteers. Our school library volunteers are assumed to be upper division high school students with a free period or family members of students at the school who are looking to give back. To volunteer successfully, volunteers need to come in with a basic knowledge of navigating a computer, a mouse, keyboard, things like that, and using a web browser. Volunteers also need to know how to use our library management system, Follett Destiny, which is one of the skills that will be taught to them. All volunteers, they are not assumed to know the purpose behind genreification, but that will also be explained to them in the content of the instructional design plan. If volunteers are interested in learning more, Follett Destiny provides many tutorials that they can view on their own time about navigating the interface, so the materials provided to them through this training should be more than enough. The middle and upper school librarian is assumed to be the best individual to teach this course, as they are the most intimately familiar with the collection and fluent in Follett Destiny themselves. Some of the instructional goals include effectively changing the sub-location of a record to reflect the genre of the book. So needing to be able to navigate Follett Destiny and know which buttons to click and what areas to go to within the record to do that. And then once the sub-location is changed, volunteers need to know how to print the new spine label that is reflective of that change, and then how to get that oriented correctly on the sheet. And then eventually, once that's printed out, how to use the spine label tool to effectively place that on the spine at the right height, and then where to place the color indicator sticker that tells the patron what genre the book is in. So those are the basic learning goals, from changing the record all the way to eventually being able to properly retag and shelve the books according to the new genre category. And all of those goals are measurable through different forms of assessment, primarily the simple accuracy of, has this record been changed? Has the sticker been placed at the right height? Is the book correctly on the shelf? Here you can see my instructional design analysis. We begin with the process of defining genreification. Why are we completing this process in the first place? And moving through all the way to the volunteer being independently able to genreify books accurately and efficiently themselves. Here are a summary of the learning outcomes. Learners are assumed to be self-motivated, already interested in libraries in general, which is why they're choosing to volunteer there. High school students are self-electing, so though they are motivated perhaps by the draw of service hours, there are many other places where they can earn service hours. So the motivation of learners to want to give back to the library is very helpful in learning this tedious process. Information will be presented to learners via verbal instruction from the librarian in small groups, depending upon when they're learning, no, but depending on when their training is scheduled, when they can come in. Videos and written versions of the instructions will also be provided to volunteers so they can support their learning in their own time, and then also reference it while they are volunteering in the moment if the librarian happens to be busy for the moment and they are not sure which button to press. They have the video and the written versions of the instructions to reference as well. And as mentioned before, assessment is straightforward. The librarian will first demonstrate the process, then observe the volunteers genreifying a book from beginning to end, and then leave them, once that has been efficiently completed, effectively completed, leave them 10 books to genreify on their own. And once they've accurately demonstrated they can genreify all of those, they can be cleared to work on their own, because as we know as librarians, accuracy is critical when managing a collection. We want to make sure we are equipping volunteers with skills that will help us in our collection and not create more work to go back over later. And that is a general summary of my instructional design plan for genreifying a high school fiction library and helping volunteers learn the process of genreification and the why behind it. Thank you so much for listening.